I'm doing my car show this weekend. It looks like we're not going live on Facebook today. Is that in the link goes against our community standards?
Yeah, I do not know how or why. Perhaps Facebook hates salad?
Maybe.
Maybe. We're good on YouTube, but Facebook apparently hates salad this morning.
Interesting.
So I don't know why that is.
Salad everywhere. Maybe just take that out and just leave it living low sodium.
That's what I'm going to try.
Maybe Facebook is salad racist.
I don't. Yeah, that seems very strange to me. Let's try again here. And
that's funny.
We're going to do that one.
That's hilarious.
Yes, Facebook hates salad. How about that?
This is riveting radio right here. Let's see what Facebook likes and doesn't like. And this is so nuts. Like not that we live and die by Facebook. We have the radio.
No, yeah.
But I guarantee you, I'm going to start getting text messages from certain people.
Yeah, like where the heck are you? What's going on?
You were doing a show today. You missed last week.
The core audience, and you guys are all listening who are our core audience, and you don't really need us explaining this to you because you're here for the show. But, well, you know what we can do? We're going to go ahead and we're just going to remove it from the Facebook stream. And I'm going to let you just, I don't know why we're going to
find us on YouTube, I suppose.
And we're going to remove that one. Well, what we'll do, I'm going to go ahead and let you continue your good evening, Gary. By the way, Gary's found us here. And Gary says all salads matter over on the Facebook page.
So, you're on...
I'm sorry, YouTube. He's on the YouTube channel. So what I'm going to do whilst you talk is I'm going to go ahead and share our YouTube channel out into our Facebook pages, and we'll go ahead.
Got to do adapt, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Speaking of adapting, so this month, August is always insane for me, but this one's a little bit more so than any other that I've experienced. Partially because of how understaffed my store is, just like everybody else on the face of the planet. I can't get anybody to apply for a job to save my life. And those that do apply want $1 million an hour. And it's back to school season here in Chicagoland. So, of course, our store is busier than it normally is because of that. Coupled with, I normally work with a lot of people to do donations. And this year I was blessed that some of my friends in the corporate offices found me some things to donate. So I was able to split a pallet or so of supplies up between Kids in Need here in McHenry, a school in Crystal Lake, a school in Elgin, and Head Start, with the help of some very, very good friends of mine that, not only helped me, a friend of mine, Heather Martz, she helped me pack all of these teacher baskets, which was phenomenal. And then Dawn Bremer from the Bremer team, she was the one who introduced me to the Kids in Need so that I could donate to them. We gave a whole boatload of backpacks and lunch bags and all this stuff. So it literally was, I think it was a Wednesday or it was Thursday that I did the Kids in Need donation. So I had my whole car full of stuff over to McHenry to do that. And then Friday was a golf outing where I had to stand at a golf hole all day and collect money for a charitable foundation for McHenry County. Not that was horribly bad to stand at a golf outing all day long in the nice, beautiful weather here, but still a long day. And then this Saturday, we were at a warehouse, if you saw my video, in Carroll Stream for my company, stuffing 1,000 backpacks. And when I talk about adapting, so my husband bought me this, and here's a plug for DeWalt. So if DeWalt, you would like to sponsor Living Low Sodium,
hey,
I will talk about you all day long, because he bought me this battery operated fan, like a job site fan.
Yeah.
It's like a 1 foot by 1 foot cube. It's not very big, quite powerful. But I, as you know, have transverse myelitis on top of my liver disease. So transverse myelitis is a nerve damage. It's a lesion on your spine. So I have partial paralysis, and one of the side effects is I don't have a temperature regulator. My temperature control is gone, which means I overheat very easily. So, and I also get, like almost hypothermic easily as well. But without that temperature control, I, just standing in the sun for a few minutes talking to someone, my body automatically thinks, because my nerves overreact, it thinks I'm going into heat stroke, and I'm not. So I have to consciously make the effort to say, I'm not dying, I'm not going into heat stroke, and get myself into some shade or into some cooler area, because my body will force itself into overheating even though it's not, because my nerves are damaged. So he bought me this fan so that I can help regulate my temperature. Like even sitting in the kitchen making dinner last night, and he cracks the fan out and puts it on the counter so I'll stay cool.
Oh.
So I bring this fan in, and of course I come walking in with this DeWalt, and everybody's picking on me like, oh, look at the big baby, blah, 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 Miss Prince. Like, you worried about breaking a nail? Like, are you kidding me? Do you know who you're talking to? So of course we get in the warehouse, and they're like, you don't need to bring it. You don't need to bring it. They've got those big giant warehouse fans. Like, have you guys ever been to our warehouse? Like, are you actively participating in any of this crap ever? Because the warehouse is enormous, and it has no air conditioning. The building is extremely old. So they have exchange fans where they open the dock doors and they turn the fans on the ceiling so it sucks the air through. But when it's 95 degrees out with 90% humidity, it doesn't matter how many air exchanges you do. It is not pleasant. So here I got my little fan. They show the big giant warehouse fans, but they're down at the end of the line. So you got a line of 50 people all stuffing backpacks with a fan down at the other end. You don't feel it. So
No,
here
you don't.
I am.
No, you don't.
Sitting there with a little cart, and I got my fan right behind me, like, oh no, I'm good. I'm cracking boxes. We went through pallet after pallet of notebooks, and Terry from Evanston, who's the other general manager. Well, there was a bunch of general managers there, but Terry and I have been branded community ambassadors for our company for quite some time. So the two of us are just clipping along perfectly good. We've got our nice bottles of water. We've got our fan. Like, dude, we know how to do this. We know how to roll. But still, it was like one after the other. And then we did the Crystal Lake donation, plus my store being as busy as it's been. So it's been nothing but 12, 14, 15-hour days combined with events and this, that, and the other, and all culminating this weekend, Saturday, with the Community Expo and Car Show to support the United Way.
Which is going to be a lot of fun.
The Net is going to be my MC because they're awesome, and since I support my station, they decided to support me.
You betcha, buddy.
More than happy to have them there. It's always you guys did it the last time before, the pre-zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, pre-zombies.
And it was absolutely fabulous. So I'm really excited this year for our event. We've got Sticks and Noodles food truck, who always supports us. My Rotary, Cary Grove Rotary, is going to be there selling the Mirai corn, which is a super sweet strain of corn that was actually created in Harvard at Twin Gardens, which is now a place that starts with a P, and forgive me to the farm that I can never pronounce the name of the farm. I always want to say Pasqua, but it's not. It's like Paquai or something like that. But the corn strain was actually, it's a hybrid corn that was created here in Harvard. So locally here, everybody searches for this Mirai corn.
Huh.
It's unbelievably sweet. It's like you soaked it in a bucket of sugar water overnight and then ate it the next day.
Wow.
So they will be there selling that along with, I'm not even sure, they might be cooking the corn too. But we also have Angie's Bee's going to be there selling her honey. So it's going to be a blast. And I'm blessed to be, and Kate's Critters. I forgot about that. I got a mobile petting zoo. So in other words, this is just an excuse for me to throw a big giant party in my parking lot.
Sounds like it, which is, that's why kind of like why we're down.
I know. So, and then we raise a few bucks for United Way, which, say what you will about large charities. That is the easiest way for me to donate to multiple charities in McHenry County and have the money stay here locally, because that's just how it works. So I'm super, super, super excited. So good morning, Tim.
We are only on YouTube this morning. For whatever reason, Facebook truly hates salad. I don't know why. I don't know how salad goes against their community standards and guidelines.
I don't know.
And even just taking salad off, it says, nope, you were talking about salad. We're not having it. So I don't know. We'll have to figure out Facebook a little later today, because that just is really bizarre. Because I was actually just streaming live on Facebook for one of our, 216 The Net clients this morning with no problem whatsoever, talking about their jobs for them.
Maybe they don't like low salt.
And maybe they don't.
Finally got fed up with low salt for 2 years.
No, you are not salty enough for Facebook.
Oh, man.
Facebook does seem to have a certain level of saltiness to it.
They do.
So,
they most definitely, they can, they can be a bit salty. But I mean...
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. I don't know. We've never had that. I'm going to see if we can just add one real quick here. But
but yeah, no, I don't know. It's funny because there's a lot of people on Facebook, especially in the the low sodium community, that follows the page because I'm active I shouldn't say active. I haven't been active very much lately in a lot of my groups just because I haven't had the time because I'm busy doing other things. And I don't know if anybody has ever felt what it's like to be chronically lethargic, but it is considerably different than just being tired.
No, yeah. And I tried sneaking in on another page that I own here on Facebook, but it's not having it. So
yeah, no, that's so weird. But
don't know.
Oh, well, here nor there. We're on YouTube and we're still on the radio. So worst case scenario, if you download the 216 The Net app, or search the website, you can find the station and you can just listen to
216thenet.com, or you can go to Radio Garden and just search 216 The Net, where we stream on Radio Garden 24/7, 365, never going down.
That every time you say Radio Garden, it makes me think of Soundgarden. I'm dating myself.
No.
So talking about salads. I know we did a show a while ago about salads. I guess I never realized how many salads I eat until, as busy as I've been lately and as much as I need something fast to eat, and the amount of fresh produce that I now have every week because I do the Cary Farmers Market every Sunday is insane. So you wouldn't think that corn salad could be a meal? What did Kent say?
He's like, what a ripoff. You haven't talked about salads other than Facebook doesn't like salads. Well, we're just now getting into the salad portion of the show.
Can you ban listeners? Can we silence that peanut in the gallery?
If I did that, it would cause a problem because that peanut is one of the station owners and he needs access to this gallery. So
that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll just cause him physical harm at some point.
And you'll see him Saturday. So
I will. He's one of my favoriteest MCs.
Mm-hmm.
So corn salad is something that I made a long time ago when I first had to go low sodium. And it's my basic go-to dressing with some Rotel, which is a little bit spicy. Yeah. If he has them, my husband adds like jalapenos or something to it to make it even spicier.
It'll give it a very nice flavor, I would think.
Red peppers, green peppers, onions. It's just a mash of, whatever vegetable, usually that combination of things. But if I have something else, I'll throw it in, tomatoes or zucchini or whatever that I have fresh, I'll throw it in there. But with the mirai corn that's sweet, it's like this super sweet candy with a little bit of spice and then a sweet, creamy dressing. So the other day I worked later than normal, and shocker. And so my husband's got a bowl of it. And it's funny because when I explain it to people, I'm like, that bowl that everybody has in their house that they use to eat an entire box of macaroni and cheese in one sitting?
Yeah.
It's amazing how many people know exactly what I'm talking about. It tells me how many people have eaten an entire box of macaroni and cheese in one sitting. But that was it. He had a giant bowl of corn salad with hot sauce and cheese on top. And that was his dinner. And it got me thinking that all of these meals that I make to be quick meals, and I make more salads, and it's the same few dressings that I always use over and over and over. So the corn salad, cucumber salad, pasta salad, bean salad, potato salad, taco salad, fruit salad. There's about 18 million different things that you can make into some kind of salad. And most of them are very easily turned into a wrap, which I think is funny that most people think of a wrap as more of a meal than a salad. And a lot of times they'll get a wrap with a salad on the side when a wrap is pretty much just a salad. Are you trying to find what offended the Facebook gods?
I am, and I'm distracting you, and you're trying to do your show. Sorry, I just figured since we weren't on Facebook, I would look whilst you were doing your show, and that's not turned out.
I'm telling you, they don't like salads.
Because I'm trying to look for something that gives us a notification about, hey,
Nope.
You guys, you're horrible, you suck.
Right.
We don't like your content anymore. Anything, but apparently
you've been in trouble.
Yeah, something. But I got nothing here.
Nope. They just don't like us today. Maybe it's my Disney hat. Do they not like Disney?
No, I think they're okay with Disney.
It was a gift from my stepmom. I could hardly doubt that she would have pissed somebody off. She's like the sweetest person on the planet.
I don't. Well, this is a new thing. Okay. So.
Kent, Pete's the one distracting me from my show. So if you're wanting to know why I'm not talking about salads, it's Pete's fault.
Yeah.
It's Pete's fault.
But Ken says, I am enjoying a nice cup of coffee salad at the moment. Hey,
we
have that the three of us have that in common.
It's coffee salad morning.
You betcha,
buddy.
A
little liquidy coffee salad.
Oh, there's Hal.
Oh, hey, Dad, you found us. Yeah, we're having technical difficulties. So YouTube it is this morning.
YouTube it is, and that's quite all right.
So my go-to, which I think is funny, because I'm going to call her out, Miss Dawn Bremer. If you're listening, probably not, but I'll play this for her later and make fun of her. So she thought that when I posted pictures of the corn salad that I made, that it looked absolutely fantastic, and she wanted to make it, and so on and so forth. And she's reading the ingredients on my website. She's like, so a cup of mayo, a cup of sour cream. I got this. 2 tablespoons of honey. I can do that. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the ingredients, the rest of the recipe is a tablespoon each of herbs de Provence, coriander, red wine vinegar, balsamic vinegar. I tend to throw Dax original red in there just because it's got a little spice to it, but you could easily do pepper flake or whatever. And to be honest with you, you don't have to do any of those. I know a lot of people don't have herbs de Provence. I like that herb blend. It is literally a blend, usually with like savory and marjoram and rosemary, thyme, oregano, lavender. So it's just a blend. It's just a French blend. Most people have an Italian seasoning blend in their cupboard.
And I would probably just go with the everything bagel blend.
Right, which is also
which I love that.
So. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, which I also have in my cupboard, and I'm making bread this weekend with that season. But if you think about when you make a salad dressing from a packet from the store, all that packet is typically is an Italian blend. If it's ranch, it's an Italian blend with dill.
Yeah.
A boatload of salt, and usually like citric acid or vinegar powder. That's it. Yeah. So it's the thing that makes it is the equal parts mayonnaise, sour cream, and a couple tablespoons of honey for sweetness. Because if you're going to use sugar, you should use honey, so that if you're getting the downfall of sugar, you might as well get the upside that honey brings to you. But as far as the spices go, you can pretty much, sky's the limit as to what you want to add in there. You want a dill, go put dill in there. You want the everything bagel, put the everything bagel in there. If you have a spicy blend, put a spicy blend in there. Just the Italian blend in your cup, put that in there. They're all really, really good, and they all taste just as fantastic. And that's exactly how I make my corn salad and cucumber salad.
Yeah.
And cucumber salad is literally cucumbers and whatever the hell you want to put in it. Usually onions and tomatoes. But I had my neighbor gave me like 5 or 6 cucumbers. Wow. So I sent her a message and said, I made cucumber salad out of the cucumbers you gave me. Do you want any cucumbers? She said, no, I don't like cucumbers. Where the hell did you get the cucumbers from? Somebody gave them to her and she didn't want to say no. She wanted to be polite.
Oh.
So she ended up with a bunch of cucumbers she didn't even want.
Well, I mean, that's okay. At least you got them.
I know. I would have brought some, but we ate it all.
So, all right.
So it got me thinking, when you, like, the hardest part about having salads is how to store them. Because if you make a big salad and you put dressing and everything on it, if you put it in the fridge, it gets all soggy and gross and turns into a hot, mushy mess.
Yeah.
I doubt Pete's ever had this problem, because I doubt Pete's main problem every day is how to store his leftover salads from lunch or dinner. I'd be surprised, outside of a potato salad, when the last time you ate salad was.
Actually, I had potato salad.
See,
2 days
potato
ago.
salad outside of potato salad.
Actual real salad, like, yeah.
Nope. So now, when you say actual real salad, you're saying like lettuce, tomato, salad dressing, and croutons.
Stuff. Yeah.
I'm talking any salad. Like a 3-bean salad, a pasta salad,
Potato salad.
taco salad.
Potato salad was just like yesterday. 2 days. No. Sunday? What is today? Thursday?
You and I both are like, what day is it?
Yeah.
I don't know what day it is. Where are we at?
I think that it was Tuesday that I had potato salad. It was good.
Yeah, this whole week, all week long, because I haven't been working Sundays because I've been doing the farmer's market. So because I worked all day Sunday, I'm a day off all week long. Even Tuesday night, I was thinking it was Wednesday. So Tuesday night, I'm going, oh my God, like, I'm going to have to cancel my show again. There's no way in hell I'm not going to be home until like 8:00. I got all these things to do. I still got to write my show. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, there's no way I'm getting up at 5:00 tomorrow morning, which it doesn't matter how much I complain about not wanting to get up at 5:00 in the morning.
No.
If I sleep in and turn my phone off, I'm going to wake up at 5:10. So it doesn't matter. My body will not let me sleep in. So it doesn't really matter anyways. I was stupid. Oh, look at all these comments. I finally found us on YouTube.
Oh, you didn't find
No, I didn't take the time to find us on YouTube.
Oh,
but I finally
okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, we've had quite the chatty crowd this morning on YouTube. And by the way, all of you who are here, if you'd like to subscribe, maybe then like and share. But every single one of our live studio shows comes on the YouTube channel, and some of them come on here and don't ever go on Facebook,
Right.
just because YouTube is so much more cooperative than the Book of Face.
Yes, they are.
So. Yeah.
As long as you say that your stuff is either explicit or non-explicit.
Yeah.
So that little children don't watch you talk about explicit things.
And yeah, there Gary says hi to Ken.
We're a meeting ground. Oh, is that Gary?
Yeah, that's Gary over in Singapore.
I know. Well, I don't know him. I haven't been to Singapore, so not quite yet. But so I learned every time I try and do one of my shows, I tend to learn something. And it sounds stupid to learn that you shouldn't store cucumbers in the refrigerator. But I mean, if they're sliced or cut up or whatever, then you might want to.
I think once they're cut or sliced, but take a cue
Right.
from the grocery store. They just slap
Right.
them in a bin.
So, and even when they're cut, like tomatoes, they will rot faster once they're sliced and they're left out. But the refrigerator, even though you're supposed to, chill them after they're sliced or whatever, they don't. Waiting for your arrival.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my way, Gary. I'll start walking. And I don't swim very well, so you might need to send a boat.
Big boat.
Yeah, big boat. But
big water.
The refrigerators are too cold for produce. So they change the structure, which is why I don't store tomatoes in the refrigerator, if at all possible. And when we have leftover tomatoes from, if we're making tacos or something like that and they have a bowl of cut up tomatoes, I still tend, unless I know, like if I had dinner and I know that my husband's going to be home in 2 hours or vice versa, then maybe if it's only going to be in there for a short period of time. But storing sliced, have you ever gone to Subway in the tub of tomatoes is just like mush.
Yeah, it's not very attractive at all.
It's because they just they turn the refrigerators up, and the frost on the outside of the tubs, they get too cold. So instead of being chilled, they're actually refrigerated, and that changes the structure of the tomato, and it tightens up those little things, which squeezes all the water out.
Yeah.
And makes them mushy.
Yeah.
So there's so many different fruits and vegetables that you're not supposed to store. Most of them I knew. The cucumbers was one that I didn't know. I've always wondered why my cucumbers went so bad so quickly. Maybe it's because I've been storing them in the refrigerator.
Maybe. I mean, cucumbers, when and if we have them, we usually just leave those on the counter until they're cut up.
Right. So cucumbers, peppers, citrus fruit, stone fruit, corn, tomatoes, garlic, onions, squashes like the zucchini, or not zucchini, acorn squash, pumpkin, the hard squashes. Potatoes, they're all supposed to be outside of the refrigerator. And a lot of people I know, I was really surprised how many people put tomatoes, garlic, and onions in the refrigerator. That just always blew my mind. And you wonder why they're all squishy. It's just gross. So if you've ever wondered, then probably not. I'm probably the only freak of nature in the group that thinks of why my produce goes bad faster than certain times than other times.
I found out why we can't go on Facebook.
What'd you do?
It's not what I did.
What did I do? Is it
you
my
didn't
fault?
do anything either.
Oh.
You remember what somebody had typed on the name?
Oh.
Yeah. So.
It's his fault.
Yep.
Thanks. Peanut Gallery.
Yep.
I bet you any money.
I just figured that out.
I bet you
and now it has banned any content coming from this particular Facebook account for a while.
Great.
On streaming. So we'll have to change out accounts for a little while.
Great. Thanks for.
So Doe's in trouble.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Thanks,
so
Peanut.
We'll have to figure that out.
Mr. Bad Peanut.
For whatever reason, it saw that.
It's the only thing I can think. Not that anybody knows what we're talking about, but we think we figured out our technical difficulty. So hopefully next week and all our future shows will be fine and back on the air and do all that good stuff. In the meantime, again, we can always listen to us on YouTube.
Yeah. In the meantime, we shan't call Joe names.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So the fruits and vegetables put off a gas called ethylene. And some put off more than others. And some really don't put off any at all. Some are super sensitive. It's almost like people being allergic to things. So the fruits and vegetables that produce a lot of it, you should store by themselves. Like apples, they produce a lot of ethylene. So you should leave them by themselves in a bowl on your counter, or not next. When you store a bunch of these high producing things together. So if you store your apples and apricots and avocados and bananas all together, they're going to rot faster because they're all putting off this ethylene gas. Some fruits and vegetables, even though they put off that gas, they're not sensitive to it. So they don't, by being, if you store them with a bunch of bananas, it's not going to make them rot any faster. So you can pretty much store them wherever you want. Bell peppers, cherries, citrus fruit like oranges and lemons and limes, garlic, mushrooms, pineapple. They don't really care where they're at, so you can store them all together. But if you tend to, if you get apples or bananas and you have other produce and you put them all together in the same spot, that's your problem. And that's why things are going bad so quickly. And it's funny because how many times that I read people, these keyboard warriors that go nuts and go, I went to this grocery store and brought produce and it was bad the next day. Probably because you're storing it improperly. And probably because it's organic. Like when you buy stuff, and that's what always cracked me up. You get these hoity-toity, like, I only buy organic, non-touched, non-whatever, non-this, non-GMO, non-blah, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I love that. Non-touched by who or what?
Right.
You had to get in that little been somehow.
Or the So there was a lady that came to the market arguing about whether or not the corn was GMO. And I know that people get heated about this. And yes, I know genetically modified, you can literally, in a lab setting, modify genetics at a molecular level. I get that. It's a whole field of science that is advancing things like stem cell therapy that might be able to save the injury in my spinal cord sometime in the future. So I actually do pay attention to a lot of that science. Most of the genetically modified stuff that you hear about in a lot of food is because they mixed 2 strains of corn together, like they did with the Mirai corn. So a lot of plants, they just need 2 plants to produce fruit or vegetables. So if you have 2 peach trees and they need 2 peach trees to pollinate, if they're peach trees, but they're different species of peach tree, they will still make peaches. And then you have a new peach, which is a genetically modified peach.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that someone spliced it open, messed with its DNA, messed with its coding. So the definition behind these things, it's much like organic or free range chicken versus caged chicken or uncaged chicken. It's like uncaged just means they're in a big giant warehouse without cages. So they still only have a square foot of space. And there's still somebody whose job it is to walk through that barn every day and pick up dead chickens. There's a big difference between that and, out in a field, out in a pasture, out in a whatever.
Yeah.
So it just always cracks me up when someone argues, well, is this GMO? Well, the short answer is yes, because it's a few different strains of corn pollinated together so that it produced this super sweet strain of corn. But that's everything.
Yeah. I mean, that's nature, assisted nature, but it's not chemically modified.
Well, that's the worst is chicken. So when people talk to me about, like, you buy organic chicken in the store, the packages say not genetically modified, no hormones, no this, no that, no the other. The chicken you are eating in the store today, if you pay attention to it, has white stripes in it.
Yeah.
That is fat. And if you went and found a chicken in the wild or pretty much anywhere else in the world, that will be gone.
Yeah.
Because chickens aren't supposed to have big boobs with a lot of fat in them.
No.
They're supposed to be able to fly like birds fly.
Yeah.
It is not a flightless animal. It is not an ostrich. They are meant to be these thin little wispy, a bird is supposed to feed 1 person, maybe 2.
Yeah.
So when you're eating chicken at the grocery store, I don't care what the package says. It is from decades of breeding specifically to get that type of bird that gets the most yield. They are almost guaranteed to be less than a year old.
Yeah.
They live horrible, horrible lives unless you know the farm that you're getting them from. So it's amazing how many people like that selective knowledge. I like to bitch about it because I know just enough to bitch. But I don't want to pay attention to the rest of it because I really like chicken parmesan. So just don't tell me about the rest of that. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know. So holy crap, we have loud neighbors.
Yeah. We're on the air. Yeah.
Do they realize they're next to a radio station?
Yeah.
Christmas. We need to start a GoFundMe account to get some soundproofing for 21.6 The Net.
The problem is we have drop ceiling.
Right.
And there's really not a whole lot we can do about that.
Okay.
So,
GoFundMe account to get 216 their own building. Let's get lofty dreams.
There are a couple of buildings in the area that I've noticed. That I've kind of gone, that'd be kind of cool.
I don't know why. I did mortgages once upon a life, and since then I've always paid attention to real estate. I don't know. I'm nosy. Then that way I like to know what's going on. And then I like to daydream and go, how awesome it would be to make a little coffee shop there with my radio station in the corner and, radiant heated floors so I'm never cold. And
There's
that
actually
kind
a
of
little
stuff.
building just north on 31 here. That's an old little office building.
Hmm.
It's a little cube. It's got plenty of parking, and it just says 600 out in front of it. That's all. That's all it's there. It's just a big
You gotta
600.
find a location
But
that
it's
is 216.
yeah, that would be awesome if we could have actually the address be 216.
Right?
That
How
would be
bad would
the
that be?
street
That'd be
number would be
fantastic.
freaking awesome. But we digress. Anyway,
We always digress. We like
Yeah.
to digress. That's. I seriously need to change the name of the show to Digressions. My digressions.
I mean that could be a whole different thing.
I know,
So.
right?
And Gary said he heard the ex
Yep.
Motorola building is up for grabs. Laws. Actually, someone's grabbing on that right now.
Yep.
That might be a done deal by the end of the year.
Right.
So
That's what I heard.
yeah. So we're waiting to see how that plays out. But
Anytime someone can take any of these empty buildings and do
could you
something with them,
imagine if
I'm
we had
happy.
that building? Holy cow!
Right?
That thing
It's
is
huge.
huge.
It's an entire campus.
Yeah, it's massive.
But
We could have an entire floor as just one office.
that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
It'd be social distancing at its best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every show
Or
gets its floor.
Introvert avoiding people at its best. There you go. That'd be awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have lofty dreams. Every once in a while I dream about having a cafe or my own place or a restaurant. And it's amazing how many people tell me that I should have a restaurant or a cafe. And I remind them that, we're going through a zombie apocalypse right now where even the most seasoned of restaurant owners are having a
barely
difficult
making
time
Yeah.
keeping their costs down as they fluctuate. So as someone who works for a printing company, the amount of menus that we print is insane. So we get firsthand to see, on the good side, we get to see when they make a menu change. Like, oh,
Yeah.
look, so-and-so's got a new burger. This is fantastic. We should go there. But on the other side of that, you see every single week things change.
Yeah.
And restaurant owners come in and it's how distraught they are trying to balance, because people notice. And here's the messed up thing. They're changing their prices by like 10 cents, 12 cents, 20 cents. They're changing it by pennies. Because if they change it anything more than that, the amount of the people that bitch about it is insane.
I will tell you though, not too long ago, I actually went to a restaurant just for lunch and with a group of folks, and it was actually it was good, but all by myself, just lunch. And this was not huge portions or anything outlandish or anything. It was just lunch. My bill was over $20.
Right.
I'm like, nah, not. I mean, great place, wonderful people. The atmosphere is fantastic. The place is clean. Food was good, but there's no way on earth I will go back and pay another $20 for lunch. It just isn't worth it.
Right. And that's the thing is my husband and I, a few weeks back, we went out to a restaurant for a burger. Fabulous burgers. They're local here in our community. We actually frequent another restaurant right across it's literally within walking distance of my house. There's a Mexican restaurant. And it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's for the two of us, it's still, because we're fatties and eat way more than we should. Like I got fajitas. And part of the reason why I like this particular restaurant is people have complained about the food not like being salty enough. So when you order food, you can ask them to add salt, which I think is fantastic because I can eat there. I don't care what anybody else says, but as somebody who's unsalted, to be able to eat at a restaurant where they say, you know what, we do keep it a little bit on the less salty side. It doesn't mean their food is bland by any means. It's just not really heavily salted.
Yeah.
But it's still, exactly to your point, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Now for me and my husband, we can still eat an entire dinner with leftovers for less than $40. But this is my argument when people come to me and say, oh, steak from the farm or whatever, like the prices are astronomical. If you buy a single cut of meat from a farm or a butcher, it's a little more expensive.
Yeah.
So if you get a filet mignon, or tenderloin fillet, which I prefer, like the big beef tenderloin that you see at the grocery store. It's like $3,000. It's not. It's $24.95 a pound.
Yeah, unless you're lucky enough to find them when Jewel has them on sale, and you can get them for $10 a pop.
Push the fish; it's about to turn. Yeah, that's why you get it for cheap.
Yeah,
but
then you crock pot that sucker like right away.
So it's funny to me because my husband and I are actually in the process of we're going to get another freezer and literally just start buying all of our proteins from the farm. Split a cow, split a pig, split a what, either one way, two way, three ways, depending on how many people are in your family. Because even though you might pay $5 to $8 a pound for that protein, that might seem expensive if you're thinking of like ground beef or ground pork.
Yeah.
Because if you're on the higher end, $8 a pound might be expensive for ground pork. But $8 a pound for tenderloin or T-bone or roast is not. But at the same time, so I got 2 tenderloin steaks the other night for $25. So they're half-pound steaks. So my husband and I had steak dinner for the both of us. Nice grilled filet steak dinner for less than $30. If we would have rented a steak restaurant where they're paying the same price at the farmers, they're still paying $25, and even if they get a deal, they're paying $15, $19 a pound, for the steaks. But they got to pay their staff, they got to pay everybody. So it would have easily been $30 or $40 a plate for both of us. And then you add drinks, the next thing you know, you're over $100. And I'm sitting here going, how the hell, it gives you insight to when you were younger as a kid, begging and pleading your parents to take you out to a restaurant. And you think they're the most horrible parents on the face of the planet because they won't take you to a restaurant. And they won't even take you to the local diner because they can't afford it. And you think they're assholes. And then you grow up and go, holy crap, the reason they didn't take us to a restaurant is because a family of 5 at $20 a plate, there goes your whole freaking weekend. Or when I'm watching the kids come through school supply shopping.
Yeah.
$200, $300, $400, $1,000 for school supplies. The one
it's
lady
insane.
has quadruplet or the 4 of them, quadruplets maybe. They all went into high school 2 years ago, and they're all in different classes on different schedules, so they couldn't share. So she had to buy 4. 2 of them were different of the graphing calculators. No. It's like $130 to $170 a piece.
Yeah.
Just for the calculators.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my Lord, no wonder why you need to take out a home equity loan to feed your kids.
Yeah, it's insane. And I mean, I used to complain about school supplies when our kids were still in grade school, high school, all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, this is public school. Aren't they supposed to have all this stuff? No, apparently not. I mean, because I don't remember going to school with school supplies when I was a kid. I don't remember that at all. I might have had like a new box of crayons, Evergreat once in a while, or
everything's expensive over here.
One of the cool little, like those little erasers that had the edges that instead of just a block, it was like,
a little angled. Yeah.
A little angled because then you were cool because you had the angled eraser.
Yep.
And maybe a new, like maybe 2 or 3 new pencils. And that would be like that was it. That was a lot. That was it.
I joke about that all the time, that if my dad had the school supply list back then that we do now, that I see the kids coming through with, he would have been like, hell no, you guys are getting homeschooled. You are, here's a book, learn some shit. Like,
now, all you folks, if your kids go on to college, all you guys who have grade school and high school and junior high kids, whatever, a book
right,
from my daughter who's out. She's out of college,
$300.
But she's going into her PhD program. In fact, she starts Monday.
Congratulations!
Yeah, she's got a book that was over $200.
Yep.
Just a book.
Yep.
Pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, a book.
So every once in a while,
which will only be used her first year, if that long.
we have every once in a while someone come through
Drive
and
me
they
up a
say,
freaking
well, I
wall.
found the book I need for school online. And I don't care if it's bound and all that fancy stuff.
Yeah.
I just need the words inside it. Can you print it? Sure. And we tell them how much printing costs are because paper's so expensive. And they're like, holy crap. Like, yeah, you might as well just buy the book.
Buy the book.
Especially when the medical students have anatomy books and they're like, well, do you need the color? Yeah, we kind of need the color. No, then you're going to.
Because what does that come out to? Like, 15 cents a page or something like that?
For black and white, yeah.
For
color,
for black and white?
It's, color is depending on what you're printing and what your discounts are. It's anywhere from 25 to 75 cents a page.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Depends on what you're printing.
Man.
It's expensive. Paper's expensive.
I haven't bought paper in a long time. So I've been out of the staffing industry for a while. And that was nothing but friggin' paper.
People don't, so it's supply and demand. It's
and
the same with everything else.
We used to buy that by the case.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, we need to get a little paper. No. It was, we usually had we usually went through about 4 or 5 cases a quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like anything else, supply and demand. And the demand for paper is less, which means the cost is more because it still costs the same to produce it. And it's similar to switch that back to the food and the farming world. I have to say how happy I am to see so much shift to a lot of the farming communities. And I wish it would shift a little bit more because so much gets, yeah. Well, I mean, well, we can talk about that. Oh, yeah, no, we use Xerox machines too.
Yeah, we use Xerox machines and all that kind of stuff. It's just, Gary, prices be cray-cray.
Yeah.
Over here. I don't know what else to tell you.
we need to get back to where we're both on camera because seeing a ginger talk about being cray-cray is something I'm glad I've been blessed to see in my lifetime.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So, but seeing the shift and seeing the amount of people, especially when I'm posting about food and farmers market, and there's always that one jerk that's like, I would never pay that in a million years for, like, holy crap, that's really expensive for fresh produce.
Then don't buy it.
Right. Then don't. Then keep trolling on somewhere else and scroll past and go buy it somewhere else. But if the amount of people that are subsequently responding and saying it's worth every penny in the taste difference, the flavor difference, and when you come to think about how long the produce that you put on your salad sits at the grocery store, most of those things are picked just before they're ripe. So they're not ripe and ready to be picked. They're picked before they're ripe because they have weeks of travel time between when they're washed and when they're sprayed with a wax or whatever they're sprayed with so that they last the entire trip to come to you. And then they're put in the grocery store. Like, think how long it takes you just to travel and go somewhere and come back.
Yeah.
And you need it to go from being picked at a farm in South America or wherever, California, to process, to pack, to wash, to all this stuff, to shipped across the country and then put in a store dock and then loaded. And right now with distribution issues, the amount of food that goes bad in that time frame because of distribution restrictions is nuts. So when all you think of is if you buy it fresh from your farmers markets and fresh from your farms, the amount of farm stores outside of just the farmers markets here in our area, Paddock Farms, Hefzibah Farms, Stoddy's, Tom's Market, Allgrass Farms, Glass Green Farms, I think is the name of it. There's so many around here that you can just walk right in their store and they have it all. Like, you want corn, the second it's available, Stoddy's has rows of it. They pick it fresh every single day. So, and
that's good.
Right. And there's a farmer's market every day of the week. I think Monday is the only day that there isn't a farmer's market within 15, 20-minute drive.
Probably.
McHenry, Cary, Crystal Lake, Harvard, Hebron, Richmond, Libertyville, Arlington Heights, Palatine, Barrington. Like they all, even Algonquin has a little pop-up stand at River Bottom Cafe. Which is awesome because then you get ice cream and your fresh produce, which I am always a huge fan of an affogato and then some fresh produce. But that's just me.
I don't know what an affogato is.
It is espresso and ice cream. So
now I know what an affogato is. Okay.
It's all of amazingness. Usually it's custard with a shot of espresso over top, so it turns into like a little espresso shake. It's fantastic. But you like hard ice cream, so you might not be a big fan.
Well, if it's going into coffee and it melts and becomes kind of like the creamer, then that's fine because you're getting the flavor of it, not the texture.
Yep.
So that I would probably try.
It is. It's just a little cup with one little scoop of custard, frozen custard, which is, soft serve, and then a shot of espresso over top. So it starts to melt the ice cream and turn into a sweet, creamy Italian specialty. It's absolutely
that
fantastic.
actually
so
sounds
if you've never
pretty
had
good.
Affogato, the best places to get affogato, in my personal opinion, if you're south a little bit, would be River Bottom Cafe in Algonquin, Old Algonquin, 31 in Algonquin Road, and Julianne's Ice Cream on 14 on the west side of Crystal Lake. Those are my two favorite places to get an affogato because they actually have an espresso machine. So they're not cheating, just throwing a big shot of coffee on there. They actually it's actual espresso, not just strong coffee. So worth every penny, in my opinion. And both of those places also support local farms.
Yeah.
So when they make, when they have special blends of ice cream, like strawberry or whatever, blueberry, they get them from places like Tom's Farm Market so that they're as local and fresh as possibly can be. And for those of you out there, there's one specific gentleman who likes to troll my market page all the time and complain about how the farmers market people are vendors and not producers. I hate to break it to you, but farmers can't grow a lot of their produce 365 days a year. So if their tomatoes aren't ripe yet, usually they have an agreement with a farm in Michigan or a farm south, and they swap. So if your tomatoes are in season now and mine aren't going to be for another month, I sell your tomatoes, and then when yours are done, you take my tomatoes or potatoes or garlic or whatever it is, and they trade on a regular basis so that it's still local.
Yeah.
It's just not right here in your county. So it's so aggravating to me when they say that, because there's still a huge difference between something that you get at a market and something you get at a grocery store. I don't care how organic or how perfect they say it is. I almost wish that you could do taste tests on a regular basis and give somebody a salad made at a grocery store and a salad that I made the other day from Colleen's lettuce and Harm's tomatoes and the Mirai sweet corn. It's night and day. And even my husband says that. We have tomatoes from our garden in our pantry that he eats like candy. He's like, how come the grocery store ones can't taste like this? They're little cherry tomatoes. He literally pops them in his mouth 10 times a day. He just eats them like candy.
Yeah.
Maybe you would probably eat more vegetables if you had a garden.
No.
Come on.
No. First of all, I don't want to grow anything because that takes, effort.
Some things. The reason we grow what we grow is because it's a lazy man's garden.
Oh, yeah?
The tomatoes just do whatever they want to do. And thanks, Dad. Tomatoes do whatever they're going to do.
To be fair, the only thing I've ever tried to grow, like a vegetable-wise, was pumpkins.
Dude, they take over your whole lawn.
Well, what I did not realize the first time was that you have to, if you do not live in an area with plenty of bees, you have to pollinize them yourself. You have to bring you have to set them up so that the flower and the pod come together because they grow separately on the vine. Now, if you bring those together, then it works. I did not know that. So the second time I got, a few little pumpkins and that was about it. And you also need kind of sandy soil.
Yep.
I did not know that either.
Lots of sun, lots of space. So
Yeah.
growing up as a kid, the guy that lived across
So-
the street from us grew competition pumpkins.
Oh, wow.
Like, so the ones that his whole purpose was not to eat them or process them. It was
He just
to get
wanted the great big
biggest
giant.
pumpkin. So their whole backyard was a pumpkin patch.
Wow.
And it was always full of pumpkins, and we had plenty of bees. But that was the sole purpose, was to, so he always had, and he would pick the pumpkins because if you pick all the little ones,
Yeah.
that means the plant has more energy to put towards the big one.
Okay.
So it was literally like Charlie Brown's pumpkin patch, because there was a big giant pumpkin patch with one big giant pumpkin. So it was a little creepy. I mean, he was also a little creepy. So
I just thought it would be fun to have a pumpkin patch, and it just didn't work out for me. So I probably started with the hardest thing you could possibly try to grow in the conditions in which it was not supposed to grow.
Yeah.
And then I have planted a few flowers here and there, and Mary Catherine has some wonderful stuff planted, flowers, and the nice greeneries and such that have done remarkably well.
Yeah, no, we do.
Oh, and I do have a Dracula plant.
Oh, nice.
I love that thing.
Yeah.
It is so freaking cool.
Yep.
But and I got that at the What's It place in Crystal Lake that's across from the Walmart. I can't remember the name of it. It's the little landscaping.
Oh, the barn.
Yeah, the barn. Yeah, there you go.
I know way too much about the farming community in this area. And for a lady who doesn't even have a farm, or can't have a farm, or can't even have chickens, it's funny how many people are like, oh, so where's your farm? I don't have a farm.
No, we're at 1 minute. 1 minute. Holy cow.
Speaking of farms and salads, yeah, support your local farms, support your local agriculture, join a CSA, get some fresh produce delivered to you, and try some amazing vegetables. And I'm going to get Pete to grow a tomato plant at some point here, just to see if I can get him to do so.
Probably not.
And we will be back next week, Thursday.
Yeah.
And support our station, support me, My LoSo Lifestyle, and 21 Sixth at YouTube, Facebook, well, sometimes Facebook, website.
Facebook blows.
You're trying to get us banned forever.
Well, they can't hear it right now. This is YouTube.
That's hilarious.
Anyway. All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
There we go.